Lately, there's been a lot of discussion and concern over whether or not Wii U will be a candidate for Epic's Unreal Engine 4 middleware. This is more than just a argument over specs and who's going to have the horsepower superiority. This is a reasonable thing to discuss because whether or not Wii U will support Unreal Engine 4, it will have some bearing on over which titles will and won't be able to appear on Nintendo's 8th gen system. And I've seen Nintendo detractors for months saying that Wii U won't be next gen, and that it is like outdated and obsolete and has bad specs on the assumption that Wii U won't run Unreal Engine 4. Now, I think Wii U is a candidate for Unreal Engine 4. I don't think it's impossible. I think it's fairly likely. I wouldn't be surprised to hear about Unreal Engine 4 at E3 at all. That being said, I think people are looking at Unreal Engine 4 the wrong way. I see people, Nintendo fans and detractors, discussing Unreal Engine 4 and Wii U in the sense of like, oh, the NES is 8-bit, but the Genesis is a 16-bit system. It's automatic. It's better. Or like, oh, Atari Jaguar has 64 bits, but PlayStation's only 32 bits, so it's better. It's not. I see people talking about whether or not it'll support Unreal Engine 4, and almost in the sense of the bit wars of the 90s. That's not how it works. I'm going to try to paint a picture, sort of what's going on here. I'm not, you know, I'm not a tech guru, but I'm going to try to sort of explain how I understand it. Let's think of this in terms of railways. Different railways have different track widths or gauges. One railway might have a 2-foot gauge, another railway might have a 3-foot gauge, or a 5-foot gauge, or a 6-foot gauge, etc. Now, let's say Unreal Engine 4 is designed to run on a track width of 5 feet. So any railway with a 5-foot track gauge, no matter how steep it is, or where it runs, or what the workload is on that railway, if it's 5 feet, it's going to be capable of hosting that engine and using that engine to pull its trains. So let's say the Wii Railway was only 2 feet. So there's no way that a 5-foot engine is going to run on a 2-foot railway. Whereas if the Wii U Railway is, if it meets the 5-foot standard, then it could host that engine and have that engine pull its trains. So even if the workload is different, like let's say the Wii U Railway, the workload, you're going to be running, well, light passenger trains in there, so only one or two cars. Whereas on, let's say the PS4 or the new Xbox railways, those might be, freight lines that have, mile long heavy freight trains. The same locomotive could work on either railway, or could handle both workloads. So the workloads are different, the destinations are different, but as long as it meets that 5-foot standard, then it'll be able to host that engine. So it's not necessarily about how powerful the engine, how much horsepower it is, or how steep the railway is. It's just about whether or not the engine could fit on those tracks, if the tracks are wide enough to fit that engine. So that's the best metaphor I could come up with for why I expect Wii U to be a candidate for Unreal Engine 4, and while at the same time I think people are looking at Unreal Engine 4 in the wrong way.